Welcome back, group fitness managers, personal trainers, or group fitness instructors. Today I am so excited to share with you my first experience attending a virtual fitness conference. If you're new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe to this channel if this content seems valuable to you, and like and comment to give me some feedback on what questions I may not have answered so I can help motivate you to try the same thing I did this past weekend. Because with all that we're experiencing right now in the fitness industry, of the lack of in-person experiences that we can have right now safely due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I really encourage you to try this yourself. So I know for myself, I was planning on taking or attending several fitness conferences in person. And if you've never attended a fitness conference, this isn't a big deal to you, but I have to say that a live fitness conference is so inspiring. You're completely immersed in the environment. You're staying in a hotel, you're with your teammates most of the time, or you're networking and getting to know people really well throughout the weekend or the week-long conference. And I was so sad to see that there were a lot of canceled conferences this year, but then I felt a little bit better when I started to see that they were starting to pivot their sessions and their experience online. At the same time, I was nervous about embarking onto the virtual conference experience trial. So I was like, you know what? I need to present at some of these virtual conferences anyways, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who is unsure about the experience of a fitness conference online. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to attend a fitness conference. I chose the closest one, which was the SCW Livestream Mania Conference, and I think they're doing 5 this year. So if you missed out on this past weekend's, you can jump on later. But I took inventory and recorded a lot of the experience in registering, in getting the confirmation email, then going through the process of finding the sessions I wanted to attend, and then attending those sessions. So we'll get into that soon, but before I begin that, I wanted to overall kind of set the expectation for what it was like to attend a virtual conference. So it was definitely worth it. I still felt like I was with the presenters in there. It was kind of fun to be able to be in their environment and experience that. I will say, of course, it was not the same experience as being there in person, and I will always do my best to attend conferences in person. But given the circumstances, if you want to take advantage of this time and learn how to do so, to attend those virtual conferences, if we're asking our members and our participants to go virtual with us right now, it doesn't hurt to experience it ourselves. It may be intimidating, but hopefully this video will help you understand how easy it is, in fact. I will say the advantages to attending an online conference were that I could kind of pick and choose what I wanted to attend. And if I was in the middle of a session, without disrupting anyone's experience, I could simply pull out if I felt like, you know what, actually, I don't think this is quite the topic I wanted to hear about today. I'm going to jump into this other session that's happening at the same time. So you can easily do that. I did also enjoy the fact that you can comment at any time, and it kind of sits in the feed of comments to the presenter, and then when they're ready to answer your question, it's just there for them to answer. So I do feel like certain people who feel nervous about raising their hand in a physical session have more of that ability to reach out and actually ask questions in a virtual world, because they don't feel like they quite have the pressure of being seen or heard. It's more virtual. So I felt like those were 2 big advantages people may find. And I was able to, of course, it was much cheaper because we don't have to travel or, leave work and have to cover our classes and do all those things. So I was able to do some other things while I was attending the conference. But I will admit that that actually kind of was a fault to taking an online conference, because I was really easily distracted. It was really easy to become distracted by other things I had already planned for the weekend, which I would strongly recommend that if you're paying for these conferences, because their prices for the actual conference aren't much lower, I would recommend definitely considering making your weekend less available for other things. So really focus on the conference, plan on attending the conference, and dive in and give it your all. So you'll notice when I attended this conference, I was doing other things, and I did still get to attend 5 sessions and participate and listen and learn. So I would highly recommend definitely thinking about those things as far as your schedule goes, making sure you have made enough time to just focus on the conference as it happens. And then after the conference, there's even recordings that they will send the participants to benefit from after the fact. That helped with the value of the conference, because I may have only be able to take 5 sessions in real time, but after the conference is over, I can actually access more information that I may have not been able to do to be in 2 places at one time. So that's kind of my rundown, my overview of the experience itself. And now it's kind of your turn to see what it's like to be in the virtual conference and what your experience will look like and how to accomplish attending a virtual conference easily and hopefully stress-free. And I sincerely hope that you enjoy this video. Okay, so once you obtain an email that confirms your registration, there are several emails you will get in directing you on what links to visit in order to log into your account, what apps you may need to download when it comes to accessing the videos. And then once you log in like I have here, you can take a look at what sessions there are available. So I'm actually exploring the certifications section, because the certification section might be something that you do on day 1. And then if you click on the equipment section, you can actually purchase equipment when you go to these virtual conferences. And a lot of the time they even have some deals, and they may even have some equipment packages based on what you might need for the workouts and for the conference. So as you can see, we have an about section, a schedule, certifications. You can look just at presenters. You can look at the Expo sponsors. I chose to take a second to look at the business summit because that was what I was most interested in for this conference. So you can take a look at just an overview of what the business summit is, that it's designed for owners, directors, and managers. And then I had a little fun kind of exploring around to see what Livestream Mania is. So if you go to your home page, you can see a lot of different tiles that take you to different places. And then I decided to watch the actual commercial for Livestream Mania. So here we are. There's actually some fun music that they play for you, and they show you, of course, how to log in for your sessions. This is a whole video that I'm obviously doing for you now, but if you need extra help for conferences, they're most likely going to send you not just specific instructions in the email in writing, but also provide some sort of a video tutorial. It also even shows you what you need to do in order to download Zoom, which is what they chose to use for their provider for the 2-way video streaming. And it demonstrates how to do that. So it does even take you to where you need to go to join sessions. And we will see that again in a little bit, but it takes you through how to look at the sessions that are provided with each description and description on the presenter. And then, of course, you can download the outlines in advance as well. Entering the session looks like this. You would basically be sent to a page that says you have joined the session. And from what I experienced, they tended to start the sessions really right on time. And then you can use the chat box, as I mentioned earlier, to correspond with the presenter, to even reach out to individual participants if you know them or if you have questions. And then once again, it takes you back to the entire conference list. And then you can even access this really broad, definitely kind of small print, but broad kind of magazine style, if that's more your style, to actually print it off and then circle the sessions that you want to attend versus looking for everything virtually. And then, of course, you can visit, which I show again later, you can visit the basically virtual location to meet all the vendors and the people who are sponsoring the conference. And then after the conference, you can get your CECs. Once the conference is complete, they emailed me directly and gave me a link, and I was able to hop on those CECs. So after the conference, you can also go to recorded sessions and see what post-recorded sessions were, or you can watch recorded sessions anytime while you're in the conference. And then, of course, they even have a chat box where you can reach out to someone who can assist you with any of your technical issues. So really appreciated all of the help and ability to kind of help me understand what to do and what to expect. Now here is a quick visit once again at the attendee home, where the homepage where I decided to click on how to download outlines. And these were useful before the conference in order to help, get prepared for what the session was going to be about. So it can also really help you when it comes to selecting the session you're looking for. Maybe you don't recognize the presenter, but you decided to, I want to check out the outline and see if the information they are going to speak on is something that is really what I'm looking forward to. So from there, you can decide to join whatever session you would like. Let's say you decide to, again, you don't have to pre-select your sessions, which is different from a live conference when you're expected to select your sessions because they only have so much room. In these sessions, you were able to enter and leave any session really whenever you wanted to. So here's a quick look at some of the presenters, their information, the date and time of their session. Something to be aware of for a virtual conference is that there are various time zones. So paying attention to which time zone you are in so that you are aware of when the session will begin. So there's nothing worse than thinking the session is going to happen at a certain time and then missing out because you had the wrong time. So make sure you mark your calendar for the sessions that you really are looking forward to. And they do tend to happen in blocks, just like an in-person conference where there's 5 or 6 sessions happening at the same time, and they kind of move and happen at about the same pace so that you're experiencing the ability to kind of play around with trying different sessions while multiple sessions are happening. So here I am scrolling through the sessions, and I've decided to download Kia Williams' outline. This was a session all about virtual fitness, and as you can see at the beginning of the outline list or example, she has a quick advertisement for the SCW Fitness Conference and then a presentation overview of what to expect. So you can scroll a little further, and then wherever you want to download another outline, you're more than welcome to click on that outline and download it. So here's just another example of an outline that I had been considering downloading. So click on download outline. You can actually, as you see in the upper right hand corner, you can download the outline to your computer. So here was another outline. It wasn't necessarily the full PowerPoint, but it's an example of potentially an outline of what the presenter once again will be reviewing and going over for their session. As we return to the home page, you'll notice that you can basically look at different days and different types of sessions. So I clicked on our business session page, and you can see all of the different sessions happening on different days and times for business related sessions only. So once again, I'm at my home page with the tiles. Let's take a look at the Virtual Fitness Expo. So once you click on that, you can see in real life, we would be experiencing this in a large room where all of these vendors are spread out in almost like a gymnasium setting. Whereas in this case, we can watch various videos about certain fitness providers, whether it be equipment or it be programming based, or it be associations in the fitness industry. We can explore that really at our own time. So that is the fun part about a virtual conference, is that normally this part of the conference would only be available for a certain timeline during the conference. So I remember going to a lot of live conferences and in person and trying to, between sessions, rush over to the Fitness Expo to get the information I was looking for, and I maybe was only looking for a certain booth. So here's an example of a video. We have MyZone at our club where it's a quick advertisement of what they offer, and they have really started to expand their network out of not only providing MyZone heart rate monitor belts, but moving into the actual booking and member management portion of the fitness industry. So very interesting that they've really started to dive into that, which is really smart on their part. So you can take a look at these videos and experience what it's like to know kind of what they have to offer. So every single sponsor pretty much had their own video here. All right, it is time to explore day one of the live stream fitness conference. It is bright and early, and it's a Saturday, and I am here about to attend my first session, my first virtual session at a virtual conference, and I really do not know what to expect. So I'm here trying my best to make it similar to what I would do if I were attending a real conference in person. And this is still a real conference, but I probably told you already, I'm going to the SCW Livestream Mania Conference, which is happening right now, July 24th through the 26th. Today is actually July 25th. So yesterday I had missed quite a few sessions, and the beauty, I believe, in the virtual is that I can actually go back and watch the recordings of that for up to a week after the conference. So I'm looking forward to catching up on those. I have downloaded the outlines, and I'll show you another little preview of the website on how I'm going to start taking the session I'm taking this morning. I'm trying to talk quietly because my husband's still sleeping. But I, again, really am trying to make this experience similar to what I would do if I were taking an actual session at a real conference. So I'm here, I'm dressed, I have some makeup on, I'm trying to, look the part, but I'm not quite sure if I'll have the choice to show my video or if I will be not showing myself, because that does affect the streaming quality. So I'm curious about that. I'm confident I'll be muted, but I'll give you guys another preview. I'm on my homepage. I'm pretty much ready to go. The session starts in about 30 minutes. And it is my first session is definitely a business session with Chris Stevenson, and you most likely have seen him in my other videos as I've interviewed him quite a few times. He's an expert in the fitness industry. I'm super excited. I never get tired of hearing him speaking. He's very human about how he speaks, and I can go on and on and on. But I'll see if I can get some permission from SCW to share with you a little bit of content that he'll share with us today. And with sound and everything, we'll see how much they can give me. But again, I'm just going to do my best to show you what it's like. So another thing I'm doing this morning to make it feel a little bit more like a real conference in person is I have my pen in hand, and I do have, what I usually do is I bring a notebook to my sessions, just because I'm kind of a pen and paper person who likes to, jot down a few notes while I'm in the session. I'm also that kind of person that is definitely the front row kid. I tend to sit right in the front row, so it's kind of cool. No matter what, I'm gonna get a front row seat. Got my coffee made, tasty coffee in my Magnolia mug this morning. Again, it's Saturday, July 25th. Since I'm Pacific time, I have to pay attention to this guy down here to know exactly when my sessions are about to begin. So the session I'm taking with Chris today is stop guessing what your clients want and ask. And I've already downloaded the outline for this one. So once again, I'm very excited to experience this today. I am excited to share this with my team, help them understand what to expect when it comes to becoming educated online, virtually. So I'm excited, and I'll try my best again to take you along for the ride, and we will get started with Chris in about 30 minutes. Okay, so another cool thing about doing a virtual conference is that since I do have some time before the first session I'm attending starts, I'm going to go ahead and whip up some yummy blueberry pancakes. It is Saturday, and the blueberries in the Northwest right now are crushing it, as you can see. My tasty blueberries right there, and of course my Clorox wipes. Safety first during this crazy time, but stoked to eat some blueberry pancakes while I listen to Chris. Something I wish I had mentioned earlier about Chris's session that I'm excited about is that I am not one to be very good about asking members and participants for feedback, and so I'm excited to have the opportunity to learn what he believes is the best way to reach out to members and get their feedback, because it's very important. But I tend to, avoid that. And it's important for us to work on asking questions and trying to better ourselves. So if you're curious as to what I put in these pancakes, just for fun, I did Kodiak cakes, and I have the box over here. We got Kodiak cakes, and they're buttermilk flavored kind. And I better flip this one. A little bit of flaxseed to kind of plump them up a little bit, and some vanilla protein powder. And that's where we got that. And I gotta use my other hand to finish this up, but I am excited still for Chris's session, so you can make some blueberry pancakes while you go to these sessions. All right, just finishing up my last bites of my pancakes real quick, and in 10 minutes, T-minus 10 minutes, I will be starting my session. So I'll film a little bit of me watching and taking some notes, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited. Thanks for being here with me.
We're going to talk about
starting with an awesome story. So
we're in an era where it's very easy.
I'm definitely not on the camera, which is kind of nice.
I'm not going to make assumptions
I know I'm not
about what I think you
going
want.
to be seen right now. So I'm watching. I can see who's in the session.
Events, whether it's the free webinars to these awesome online Mania events, they're doing such a great job. You can find out all the information at scwfit.com/mania. Go to the app for some.
So
when you tag and you post on social, make sure you hashtag SCW Mania and of course tag SCW Fitness. And here's where you can find them on all the different social platforms.
We'll probably start.
Also know that they've got
So I just finished my session with Chris, and again, that session was to stop guessing what your clients want and then ask. And what I was pleasantly surprised by is he not only talked about members and class participants giving you feedback via multiple great modalities of receiving feedback that he suggested, but also asking your staff for their feedback. And I think that was also so helpful, that I think most clubs in the industry tend to forget about, is that it's so important that their staff is happy and hearing from them directly as well. And members and participants can really tell when their instructors and providers are happy or not happy. So really great session, a lot of great information. As you can see, I have a whole page of notes on everything that Chris spoke about, and the biggest takeaway I think I got was just how easy it can be to create basically a net promoter score, or an easy 30-second survey that your members can take. And so I'm really looking forward to hopefully asking Chris to join me again on my YouTube channel and go over, I think I pulled at least 3 things that I think we could talk about in interviews. So now we have about 15 minutes between sessions. I am going to wait for the Future of Group X panel coming up that I was looking at earlier. I made another cup of coffee this morning for the beginning of this day, but going to go ahead and enter the next session in just a little bit, and am very excited to see that panel. So now I am about to embark on the Group X panel of the future of group fitness, given the circumstances we're in right now. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's supposed to start in 2 seconds. Since it's a panel, it's something that I would highly recommend watching live. So as much as it's kind of nice to know that I can look back at these as the recordings release, I really do want to make sure that I'm getting the best experience I can for what I paid for. And so I would highly recommend that you take advantage of the fact that these are live and they're happening in real time, and you may get the chance to actually ask questions. So for example, Chris's session, when we finished the session, he offered to answer questions, and you can't quite do that as easily post-conference on your own. So I'm happy that I was able to take his session live and enjoy the fact that I could ask questions. So, and as a presenter, I think it's also a great way to support the presenters in being there during the actual session, so they can see how many participants are there and engaged. And just having the ability to actually utilize the chat box was enjoyable as well, being able to reach out to other attendees. And I'm sure as presenters continue to get used to this virtual format, they'll be able to utilize that chat box even more. So really excited to watch this panel and more information about this conference to come. And that was really interesting. A lot of good thoughts on, again, it was 5 group fitness experts speaking about their thoughts on the future of group fitness, and really interesting to take in that information. There were definitely a lot more people who attended the panel, which I thought was interesting, and most likely it could have to do with the fact that I don't know if those are being recorded or are provided, but I think also they're answering questions a lot in the feed if you attend those. I will admit I'm 2 cups of coffee in, and just kind of sitting and staring at a computer screen is getting a little tiring. I'm going to take a break, and the next session is in 30 minutes with Marissa, and that's the Facebook for Your Fitness Business. I'm really looking forward to her session. So I'm going to take a nice break and come back later for some more sessions. All right, guys, about to jump into Marissa's session. So I'll give you a quick video of what it's like to go in to the session. So you hit enter session, and my Zoom is on. So I open the Zoom link. It's that easy. They've been pretty much starting the sessions right on time. So what you'll notice is, since it's approximately 7 minutes before the session is supposed to begin, they will start it automatically, but I like to jump in a little early so that it automatically starts and I don't have to do anything. It's just ready to go. The interesting thing I wanted to mention about the panel earlier, the difference was that there was the ability to share your video and to add sound to yourself, and that kind of hindered the experience because there were certain people who were unmuting themselves on accident, I believe, or they had their video up, and I just wanted to see the panelists. So that was an interesting experience, but I'm looking forward to Marissa's session, and I'll follow up once her session's over. Okay, I just finished Marissa's session. It was amazing. It was all about Facebook and, kind of some hidden gems about Facebook and some things that are actually really recent that have just come out in the last few weeks. I had no idea hashtags were useful on Facebook anymore. I have a lot of good ideas of events and things and hashtags that we can use now, or ways to look up events that they're doing on Facebook and Instagram. And here again, another full page. So full page from Chris, full page from Marissa. And I have just entered in a class or a movement session with Kimberly Spring Glick, who is another one of my absolute favorite presenters. I need to go get changed because I was going to try and take her class outside. So I'm going to run out and get changed, and it's getting pretty warm out there, and jump into her class. I cannot wait to get some movement in, and she is one of the best kickboxing instructors I've ever seen, I've ever heard, I've ever experienced, and so I'm really excited to take her class. I'm definitely getting tired of being in front of a screen and actually sitting a lot too, so it's perfect timing to experience that, and I can't wait to jump into that kickboxing class. she just finished her class and she's still teaching. You can see her. Kimberly is one of my favorite kickboxing instructors, and I'm sweating. I didn't get a chance to change my pants, so I'm in some leggings, and it was warm out there, but it was a great, energetic, awesome class. So I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to share hopefully a little bit of the video of her class. It was really, really fun, great energy. She layers things so well, so it's easy to follow. You get a heck of a workout because she takes her time in teaching you each of the movements, and I love her. She has some really great cool downs too. She's like a yoga instructor, so a lot of good yoga poses and spinal movements, but so much fun. I had a great time. Right, well, I have to admit something. I kind of played hooky on the 6 a.m. sessions today to jump on my absolute favorite hike. It's called Mailbox Peak, so I think I'm about 3/4 of the way up. I've been wanting to do this hike like all summer, and I'm really excited to be able to do it today, but I did have a management session I really wanted to go to at 6 a.m., so I'm hoping it's recorded, and then I'll catch it later, but I will keep you guys posted on what I end up getting to go to today and whatever recordings I end up watching later. So I hope you enjoy the view as much as I do. Water break. All right, we are close to the top. This is actually like my favorite part because there's basically makeshift stairs all the way up to the top right there. Hopefully you can see it okay. And then come all the way down. So I'm really excited to show you the top. It's gonna be breathtaking today. It's so clear. So it's been a great way to, I will say, reflect on the sessions that I've taken so far, kind of like digest them and think about and process what I'm going to do and take action on the things that I've learned. So this has been useful, even though I may have missed a session. Can't wait to show you the top. All right, here I am going down the mountain, and there are a ton of people coming up right now. So I'm really glad I did this, and I'm glad I did it nice and early. So I actually have been able to get spotty service, and jump into Emma Berry's session. So she's pretty cutting edge. I'm going to try to hit up her session as much as I can as I barrel my way down the mountain. And I'll update you guys if I'm able to get much information on her session. All right, so I don't feel so much as a slacker anymore because I did get to go to the majority of Emma Berry's session while I was coming down the mountain. And it's hard because you have to put your mask on every 5 seconds because of other people going by and you're trying to be respectful. But it was mostly her describing where we're at right now in the fitness industry, what clubs are doing, what boutique studios are doing, how we all pivoted. It was a nice overview of what happened and how we've all changed and what we're continuing to do to change. But the most interesting thing I found from the session was that I remember when I went to IDEA one year, we practiced teaching and pretending like, oh, pretend they can't see you and they can only hear you. Or, oh, pretend that they can only see you, but they can't hear you. And I have had those experiences during this time where my sound isn't working. So I have to really emphasize my body because it's live and I'm not going to turn it off because everyone showed up and they're there ready to go. So I've had that experience. And then I've also had the experience of audio is where we are probably going and you're just talking to people, but they can't see you. So how do you teach and film a class in a really productive way so that you can use both the audio and the video? So that was super interesting. That I think that's a skill a lot of instructors are going to have to develop, both of those skills. Teaching over cueing, teaching very physically, lots of big movements, which helps with video. So that was really interesting, identifying that I'd had experience doing those drills and just how handy that could be for my team to kind of work on. So took that, definitely learned a lot about the industry, what they're doing, and a lot of different names. She threw out a lot of different names, different resources. She's all about knowing your why as a company. And I think that's huge, helping your team understand the why. And then the other piece is just that she's written a book on building a badass boutique, and you've got to read that book because it will help you in so many ways. So her sessions and presentations tend to highlight the real-time aspects of what's going on, but the actual book will really help, I think, gyms and fitness facilities long term. So glad I got to jump into that session. I'm gonna see if I can keep barreling down the mountain and maybe jump into another one if I need to. So the next session isn't until 11:05 and it's 10:30 right now. So I think I'll have enough time to get down the mountain and then jump into Amira Pollock, who created Struck Club. Excited to hear her speak about winning over millennials. So that's at 11:05. I think I'll be in my car for that one. Can I also say just how funny it is when you're on your way down and you run into people and they go, so how far are we from the top? And when you're just coming down, you're like, oh cool, you're so close, have a good ascent. And then I'm like 4 miles down and I think there's like a mile left and people are asking me now and I'm like, we got a long ways to go. So it's kind of like a example of what we're going through right now. Is it over yet? Is it over yet? No, it's not. Keep going. And then it gets steeper and then it gets harder. So, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. So you all have to learn. All right, so just finished up the session with Amira on my way back from the hike, and it was kind of cool today to just experience this conference in that way where I was able to do other things and still stay involved. So probably not the wisest if you're really looking for digesting a ton of content. Definitely sitting down, I think, digesting, watching the slides, having a notepad like I did yesterday is going to be the most valuable. It was still valuable listening to all of the feedback and information that each of them had today. Both Emma Berry and Amira, they were very, very helpful. The Amira session, quick little recap, was definitely about Gen Zers and really how to market them, what they're looking for, how they spend their money. So really interesting feedback and statistics that she shared on that. She did focus quite a bit on the issues we're experiencing now on diversity and inclusivity and how we as, an industry, a fitness industry, really need to continue to step up and level up what we're portraying. And what I really took away toward the end of her session was just how brands need to be better about just broadcasting their mission, broadcasting their values, broadcasting who they are, what their goals are, and then staying consistent all the way to the meat of the fact that whoever they correspond themselves with, or whoever they collaborate with, or whoever they sell within their clubs, they need to be very, very consistent in continuing those values. So enjoyed her session, and I am very, I can't say, I don't know if I can say proud of her, but impressed with her bravery to definitely voice her research and information based on what she's seeing. And there were people, I think, who were just still having some misunderstandings in what what her message is trying to be. And she did it in such a very professional way, just disclosing how much the industry really does need to improve, and its awareness of diversity in so many ways, not just black and white skin or brown skin, but also in body types and images. So I'm happy to be a part of that during this crazy time, and I just wanted to mention that I appreciate her bravery in that. But that wraps up the conference for me. I might catch some recordings later, but I hope this was helpful, and I'll continue to, in my intro and in my wrap up of the video, give you guys lots of good tips and information to really help you feel comfortable and confident. It was super easy to accomplish attending a virtual conference. Please, in case I forget later, do please share what questions have I not answered in order to help you feel more comfortable with trying it. Is it the same? Absolutely not. I would never say that going to a virtual conference is the same or better than going to a conference, but I did enjoy my experience, and it was educational and inspiring and motivational. So I look forward to sharing this with you again, and I really would love your feedback and comments.